everybody. It looks as though we are live. So if I refresh my page, hopefully you'll be able to see me. Um, so why don't we start the way we usually start? Chris, you're already here? Okay, hi. I wanted to start exactly with that, which is some introduction, as we usually do. Um, Tell me who you are in the little comments section. Tell me where you're from. So I have Chris from Denmark. Yay. Deborah, where are you? I see Deborah Dodge. Hello, Sketchy. Sketchy is with us, so that's always good. From Canada. Now, Debbie, Canada being a little big. If you could give me an idea of your province, I would love that. But it's okay if you don't want to share. I totally understand too. Sharon from Florida. Hi. So I'm glad that you guys are here. More people will come in. As you come in, don't hesitate to tell us where you're from and where you're going to be drawing. Okay, so I'm glad that we already have a couple of a couple of continents because we have Europe and Ute from Germany. Yes, so we have North America and Europe represented so far. Denmark, Germany, Canada, United States. This is very good. So, look, we're going to be together for an hour and we're going to do a profile today based on, as you know, the drawing perspectives with France. C'est moi, it's me. I'm glad that you're here. Tom, you're here from England, South Coast. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to be together for an hour. I'm encouraging you to grab some paper, some pencils, and draw along. We're going to share the muse in a minute. What I would like to tell you right away, though, is at the end of this, we're all going to share what we drew today in Sketchy Art School in the class feed. You can, but you don't have to. You can mention me in the caption. It gets to me faster that way if you just go like at France Van Stone. And that way I'll see right away. But it would be great for all of us who have drawn together today to share our work so that it can be seen, you know. I think that'd be very cool. Sylvie, you are here from Quebec. Wow, this is cool. Sylvie, do you know that Sylvie is my middle name? I mean, one of them. But yeah, I really love that name. Okay, Jordan from Miami. Ooh, I've never seen you, Jordan. I wonder who you are. Just kidding. Okay, so why don't we start with a little something that you might want to know if you haven't been told yet, is that there's a great promo going on at Sketchy right now up until tonight because it's Valentine's Day weekend. It's called Moi, MUA. And with that code, if you get a class, any class, doesn't have to be one of mine, any class at Sketchy, you can get one for free. How about that? That's a good deal. So after this, you might want to head over to the Sketchy shop and see where you want to grow next. Melissa from Portland, Oregon. Hi. Okay. And Joel from Pasadena, California. This is great. Wow, we've got people in the cold like me because it's really cold today. Although probably nothing like the temperatures you guys are getting in Canada or maybe the snow. So, yeah, I want to talk to you about the muse and then I'm going to talk to you about what I'm going to draw the muse with, okay? So, our muse today is a profile, of course, profile view. Marcus Johnson. I'm going to put it on the side of the screen here, okay? You should be able to see it now. And I really like this profile because, given the fact that I have limited time, it's an hour long broadcast, but as you know, it's usually not that much time of drawing. Um, it's going to be fairly straightforward. Um, the beard means that I'm going to have to use thicker tools to cover that much ground. I'll show you. Um, so I hope you're going to enjoy drawing this with me. Marcus is our muse. Hi, Victoria from Seattle. Oh, it's good. It's good to see you all. Again, any access that you want to have to the Sketchy shop or where the muse is, Marcus, like if you want to save that photo onto your own files, maybe if you want it on a tablet next to you, as I do. Look underneath the video, the YouTube video here, you have some links that will allow you to do that. One of them being, the Sketchy Shop where you can get a class for free with the code moi. So what I use is I use my big gigantic iPad and I put it in front of me, and this is where my muse is. So it's right in front of me. All I have to do is just look up and down. It makes it simple. I sometimes have it to the left of where I draw because I'm right-handed, but today it's right in front of me. Tools. Are you ready before I turn things over to the paper? Actually, I'm going to turn things over to the paper now so that you can see. All right, so here we go. Hi, everybody. I'm going to start with my lead holder. It's a Pentel. It's nothing fancy, but what I have in here is H because I like starting very light at first, like, to draw my main lines. Oh, here we go. Elijah is here too. Hi from Philly. Elijah, good to see you. Oh, yay. Okay. So starting with an H. This is not going to last long, though, and you will see that it doesn't show super well on the paper anyway on camera. It's not the most photogenic thing. So then I'm going to move on to probably a not 2B, what am I talking about? HB. I love this jumbo. Did you notice that it says jumbo on there? It's a jumbo pencil, meaning if I put a regular pencil next to it, you see the difference of size? Okay. Which means I have a little more lead coming out. And you know by now, if you have indeed watched this lesson, that I'm a big fan of taking a box cutter and exposing more lead so that I have more at my disposal than I would if I were just to use a regular pencil sharpener. So look at the difference of width here that we have in terms of graphite. I love these jumbo pencils. They're everywhere. I think I got those online because I live nowhere near an art store, art supply store. So here's an HB, which is going to be a good start. You know that HB is another word for number 2 pencil. And then there's a 2B2, which I think is what I'm going to go into. It's a jumbo as well, same kind of pencil by Faber-Castell. I'm going to use that when I go into the very dark, like for example his hair, okay? Julie Martin from Detroit. Hi Julie, nice to see you. I'm so glad you guys can make it. Listen, we're doing this again next week and the week after that. But, let me get back to my face for a second. Okay, next week we're doing this on the 22nd, which is not exactly a week from now, it's 6 days because we're doing Saturday at noon. And then we're doing the next Saturday after that, which is the last Saturday of the month, which is the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. So 22nd and 29th will be the next 2 dates for our get together, for our draw together, if I will, if I may say so. The reason why we had to do a Sunday is because, believe it or not, I didn't have Wi-Fi yesterday yet, so I have it today, so all is good in the world. Okay, hello D Wade, greetings from the UK. Oh, this is cool. Oh, I love having people from different continents. This is so exciting. So, going back to the page, okay? Blank page. I don't know about you, but I like keeping my supplies, as you know, very simple. What I'm using today is this Canson paper 9x12. It's fairly thick, but not super thick. It's cream. I like the fact that it's not white. It comes in a, bound sketchbook like this. This is the exact paper that I used for the class. So nothing fancy at all here. I mean, obviously, Canson is good quality. I'm not drawing today on a photocopy paper. I'm drawing on fairly nice paper, but In terms of materials, I have probably here in my hands maybe about $5 or $6 worth of supplies. Maybe a little bit more because these pentels maybe were a little more than $4. But you get the idea. We're not going fancy here. I will say it again. Fancy supplies don't make for good drawings, okay? Hi, Michelle from the Bronx. So one more time, if you want to head over to Sketchy Shop, the link is underneath the video, and you can get a class for free with the code moi until midnight tonight. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to grab the H. I like starting light because you know this is where things kind of like get set in place. Um, so I have Marcus right here in front of me. It's going to be pretty straightforward. It's curvy, so I'm going to draw. Oh, you may not even see this much at all. Look at that. This is the top of Marcus's head, starting right away, and really insisting more on where things are going to be darker, right? This is not quite a circle, but frankly, guys, what I'm doing here as much as anything else is loosening up my hand, just trying to be, to get a gesture going here, which is, easy and loose. And right away in the middle here, middle of this ovally circle, I'm going to draw a line straight down the middle, not a very thick line, because of course you don't want this to show too much, but at the same time, you know me, I like construction lines, I like showing them, so I'm going to keep it there for as long as I can. I'm not going to try to erase it. Talking of which, I don't even know that I have an eraser nearby. I mean, I have one at the end of... Oh, okay, I've got this one. That's good. All right. I have, as some of you know, I keep this pencil case that I have had since 8th grade. In 8th grade, I was a big fan of John Lennon, so I wrote Lennon back in 1987. This is this is some old stuff here. Okay, so all right, let me get back into my muse on my iPad, which just fell asleep. Unfortunately, when I start things off with an H, it's very, very faint here, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I just want to get some, some essential lines. So, guys, you know by now that where I draw this line in the middle is where the ear starts. So let me show you Marcus one more time here quickly. Okay, let me try not to have too much of a glare. I draw that line in the middle where the ear starts here. You see what I mean? Marcus, you turned. There we go. Okay, there's a glare, but I'm trying to show you where that middle line is. It shouldn't be here behind the ear. It should be here where the ear starts, okay? Because that's where really the middle point is. If you look behind that line, you have about 50% of head here, 50% here. Give or take. Again, we're not all shaped the same way. You've seen that before. I'm just making very basic lines that are going to help me determine where things are on Marcus's face. And if his forehead is here, and this is the line where his ear ends, starts, if you will, the top. Sorry, it's the top, so let's call it the beginning. And look at where it goes on the front of his face. Well, we've got an eyebrow starting here. Okay, and his eye is going to be underneath this. So that gives me some markers, some places to start. Guys, I'm not going to stay too long with this H pencil because, frankly, you don't really see it. So let me move on to HB. All right, Oh, Luciana from Brazil. Hi. Okay. Um, Good question, Ute. I'm going to show your question. Ute is asking. This one is to all of you, not just France and sketchy administrators. If at your own desk without concerning portability, are you into lead holder or do you prefer good old wooden pencils? Ute, if you don't mind my answer, um, I love lead holders personally. Lead holders are the best because if you choose a thickness, this is 09, if you choose something quite thick, you really end up having a great pencil at hand, and it's always sharp. So I lean towards pencil lead holders myself. If you guys want to participate in this discussion, please go ahead because it's always interesting to hear what everybody has to say. Ute, thank you so much for your question. I think it would spark a good discussion. I'm going to continue, and this time I've grabbed my HB. For those of you who missed it at the beginning, I'm using a Jumbo Faber-Castell. Jumbo because it's so much bigger than, let me get another, okay, this is 6B, but it doesn't matter, it gives you an idea. So much bigger than a regular pencil. See regular pencil right here? See this, the thickness? You know also that I like exposing the lead with a box cutter. Also, guys, as you're answering Uta's question, um, can you also let me know if you are drawing with me today? I really hope you are. I hope you're using this as an opportunity to, you know, to get out your materials and sketch with me. Let's take a look. I said that the ear is about halfway. Where his hairline is a little forward from that. So I'm not too far off. Okay. All right. Keeping it sketchy. Keeping things very sketchy. Um, this pencil that I'm holding, which is HB, is really helping me build lines that you can see, but I'm not going to stay with it. I'm going to go fairly dark very quickly because I like a softer lead personally, because you cover ground with a softer lead like much faster. Okay, there's the ear. I don't know about you, but I love drawing ears. They're so intricate, and yet, I mean, let's face it, they're really hard to mess up, right? How can you get an ear wrong? You just draw these very intricate shapes, and the next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, there's an ear. I really love that. Okay, so right here, I'm gonna bring Marcus's eyebrow forward here. Okay, I did not even deal with this yet at all. Did you notice? But at least I've got some proportions established. Not in terms of height yet, but in terms of width. Okay, so Deborah, you're drawing? Yes. And Uta, you love the wooden pencils? That's good. Okay, I'm trying to read your comments as we go. Sylvie, you prefer the wooden pencils? That's good. Melissa, you have a lead holder. Good. Ute, okay. And Sylvie, you're drawing. Deborah, you're drawing. Good. Oh my gosh, Elijah, a chunky Koh-i-Noor magic pencil. You're gonna have to tell me what that is because wherever it says magic, I'm interested. Okay, so let's place Marcus's eye, which is right about here. Okay, always keeping track of where things are on lines that would go, you know, like this. So right now, the bottom of his ear is right about here. What's happening at the bottom of his ear? Just about where the nose is. So once I know that, it gives me a little more confidence to come down and draw a nose. Very lightly though at first, because I could be, you know, I could want to change that very soon. Okay. But I think I got got Marcus, you know, building pretty nicely right now. We'll see, maybe I'm gonna have to change some things, make different decisions. I'm okay with that. That's why we're drawing in pencil. We're not carving anything in stone, right? Taking my, oh, this is a dirty eraser, guys. You know, when an eraser stays a little too long in my pencil case, it tends to pick up all the lead from, ouch, I just knocked my hand on my shelf. That's good. Okay, so this is a little cleaner. This is an eraser that I got at Muji. I really like this eraser. Okay. All right. I was just re-establishing where I had this nostril here. Okay. Can we please establish something right away, which is let's not sweat resemblance, okay? And let's just go with, you know, how we built this face, and you will see that resemblance just will kind of fall into place. But if we make it a primary concern, I think we're just going to set ourselves up for frustration. So that's usually the case for me. It may not look exactly like Marcus, is what I'm trying to say. Because what I'm drawing here is features of a face that I find very interesting. Okay, back of his head. And now you will see that things are going to move fairly fast. So where I drew the line between, you know, underneath his nose here. Oh my gosh, Elijah, it's a multicolored pencil. Oh, this is so cool. I can't wait, and that forces me to bring this up again. Tracy, I'm glad that you're drawing too. Um, Guys, I really am encouraging you to post this after we're done today at 1 o'clock. Post this on Sketchy Art School in the class feed, in the Drawing Perspective with France feed, please. I think it would be really cool. And Elijah, I really can't wait to see what this looks like in multicolor. That really and Elijah, you can't erase this stuff, right? Oh boy, well done. Okay, so I've got some proportions already set up. I've got my middle line here, remember, that runs across the skull. It goes all the way down. And what I love about drawing beards is that it gives me some clear lines as to where things are. Even though the jaw disappears, we can imagine that based on where Marcus's mouth is, which is right about here, the lip below here, some beard, and the mustache coming down this way, I would say that his chin is probably right about here and his jaw goes like this, right? Something like this. I don't know if Marcus would agree, but that's where I picture his jaw to be. But today, since Marcus has a beard, we have to address that. And that's why I'm choosing those jumbo pencils. You will see that it's going to be a lot of fun to just fill in very sketchily. Okay, there's the beard. The overall shape of the beard is this, I believe. Okay, and there's the back of the neck. Somewhere around here. If I were to draw a line where I see his neck ending, you know, where the collar is, I would say this is right in the middle of his chin. Okay? Guys, look at what I've got going on here. This is far from being a finished drawing, do you agree? But what I have is my proportions established with that middle here that I found to be about 50% halfway basically between the front of the face and the back of the head. And because I've established all these things, I'm feeling a lot more confident now to go into a darker pencil. Okay? And that's what I'm going to do. There's a little bit of a shoulder here. Let me see. Seam, little shoulder. Okay? And the other shoulder is here. Okay? Now I've got Marcus. I've got a template, so to say, and now I'm grabbing a 2B pencil, which is exactly the same as this one. I was just drawing in HB. Keep in mind, HB is synonymous with number 2 pencil, you know, the kind that we use for, for tests like this. Okay, this is a number 2 pencil, which means it's HB. But what I'm going into now is 2B, which means it's darker, it's softer, and it's going to allow us to fill in where things need to be filled in fast. Now, remember that I love exposing the lead more, and I really hardly ever sharpen this, ever. In fact, since the class that you have, the drawing perspective with France, I have not sharpened this thing. This has been like this. I've drawn a couple of times since then. But everything here dates back to when I sharpened it last. No need to sharpen in my book. I'm going to hold it so that I can actually fill in, you know, a lot fast. Because when I hold it on its side like this, I'm able to make broader strokes, as you can imagine, right? Much broader strokes. And we're not here for, you know, something extremely detailed. I love keeping things sketchy. We want to keep it sketchy. Now I'm going to spin a little bit because keeping things loose, guys. Keeping things loose. What do you think? Okay? There's a glare. If I were to turn off the light, maybe you could see it less glary. I'm right by a window. I hope it helps a tiny bit. But at least you can see. This is hair, so it's not going to be a perfect line. I don't want it to be perfect. Perfect is, as you know, overrated. And now I'm covering ground. Now that I've established, and how long did it take us to do these proportions? About 25 minutes, roughly, okay? Now this was while talking and stuff. If I was a little less distracted, I might have moved a little faster. But you guys know by now that I'm not a very fast, you know, I don't execute things very fast. I just try to get it right and hope for the best. But basically the same rules that I've applied in that lesson, I've applied here with Marcus. And if I go a little lighter, I can cover ground even more like this, you see, and then go over a little later. There you go. All right. What's going to happen with me being right-handed is as soon as I go into this, I'm going to smear. So what I'm going to need is a piece of paper underneath so that I am safe. Okay, let me just grab a quick piece of paper from a notebook, a random notebook, which is a graph notebook. Okay. Love this thing. I use it a lot. I used it a lot when I was planning my move. I just moved into a new place, and I actually was drawing a lot of things on these pages. But see, that allows me to do this and not be too messy. Okay, so how is everybody doing? I hope you guys are drawing. I do not expect anybody to go exactly at the same pace. It just doesn't happen that way. I'm a public school teacher. One thing that I learned with teaching, of course, is that not two people learn the same way, and certainly not at the same pace. Okay, guys, what do you think? Now, being able to darken things, I really make things look, in my opinion, far more interesting. See, now I can darken Marcus's forehead a little bit, coming in now with the side of my pencil, which will then allow me to go even darker in other places. I love that. There he is. And even though I do this, I go fairly fast, then I tend to go back and reestablish where some important features are, and then sometimes even come back with a little bit of hatching. You'll see I'll do it here as well. And that can also add to the sketchiness of things. I love that. Sometimes you have to flip things around a little. But always keep in mind where are the dark areas? Where are they? Can I insist on those? I would say that if you really look carefully at Marcus's forehead, you will see that there's quite a bit of dark there. So that's why I'm feeling fairly safe doing just this. Okay? So already we've got a fairly detailed forehead. And coming back now with the side of this lead. I'm putting quite a bit of pressure. I don't know what you're using for. I know some of you are using obviously wooden pencils, right? Sylvie, Ute, right? You're using wooden pencils. Are you also using something thick like this, or um, are you going much thinner? In which case, it might take you a little longer. You know, I have a time constraint myself. I have to do this under an hour, so in a way, it kind of forces me into, you know, more practical decisions like this. I like it though because I really like getting results fairly fast, especially on camera. When I draw, you know, by myself, this is a whole different thing. But I wonder how you guys are getting this done. Lead holders, I doubt you can get much, you know, broad strokes. Okay. Julie Martin, just wondering how long you have been drawing faces. Oh gosh. Julie, we're talking of decades. Like, I'm in my mid 40s. I've been doing this since I remember really like, really doing a lot of faces right from the age of 15. Like, this is when things started getting, and things started clicking for me. You know, at 15, I would just, Julie, don't laugh, but I was drawing Mick Jagger a lot, and John Lennon. I just wanted to draw these guys, and that was, I guess, my way of being a fan of their music. And so we're talking of, you know, late 80s, early 90s, a long time ago. Yeah. So, Julie, there's your answer. um, all right. Sylvie, you don't have a thick pencil and it's taking much longer, right? Yeah, I figure. Um, I don't know if you are interested in those, Sylvie, but they are online if you Google Jumbo Faber-Castell pencils. You will see it's a game changer because when you start making broad strokes like this and you start covering ground, suddenly you can really get something done in 20 minutes. And it's, yeah, there's something to be said. We're all very busy. Um, we all have very busy schedules, and when you can just whip up something because of practical tools, I would say, yeah, go for it. Okay, coming back over this and now tackling the nose. Ute, you're using. Oh, hold on, I just missed Melissa's comment. Melissa, I'm gonna put it here. I seem to be drawing at about the same speed as you. My lead is much thinner though. I'm using a 2B and it's sticking out of my lead holder pretty far. Yes, okay. And Melissa, you don't have an issue of it breaking when you do that? I know that would be an issue for me. And it's a 2B, which means it's soft, which means it's easier to break than, let's say, an H. Um, wow, I mean, good if you can do that. Maybe because you go lightly, it works. So that's beautiful. Ute. This time I'm trying a B for the outlines, okay? And lighter parts, and a black colored pencil for the darker parts instead of a 6B. Yes, because that's such a good idea, Ute, because the black colored pencil is not going to offer a glare or grayish glare like the graphite. I think that's a great idea too. Um, okay, so Sylvie, um, if you'd like, on Sketchy Art School, I'll make a little note of it here. Sylvie Dubé. Ok, Sylvie Dubé, en français, je vais vous envoyer le lien pour acheter ça en ligne. J'ai trouvé ça sur Amazon. Voilà, boom, done. Do you ever change the lighting? Oh, that's such a good idea. Such a good question. You're right. It may not be the best. You're right that it looks like the light source is coming from under. It didn't seem so dramatic to me when I chose this particular portrait to draw from. But it's true that lighting coming from above is a lot more comfortable in general than this. But sometimes I just fall for the mood of a portrait, and yeah, in this case, it definitely was lit more from below, Tom, and it's not so much a choice than it's pretty coincidental. Okay, and Melissa, it's not breaking. That's good. Okay, so Sylvie, I'll send you a link to where I found my Faber Castell. Okay. Okay. Da-da-da-da. Though I think not everything that we find on Amazon US is on Amazon Canada, from what I understand, but hopefully it won't be an issue. Okay, did you notice I'm working down the nose? And the nose, because what Tom pointed out is absolutely true. Lighting coming from here and not from here. Now we have shadows on this nose. You see it, right? So I'm moving down the nose carefully. And here, if you look well at the reference photo, it's fairly dark underneath Marcus's eye, right there. See? This doesn't look good yet. It will. Okay? Oh, Elijah, I love the fact that I love Elijah's declaration. I'm done because it's so thick. I'm done. I love that. How did it feel, Elijah, to finish something so fast? And please go ahead and post it on Sketchy Art School. I really would love to see it as soon as we're done with this. I'm gonna head over and post mine as well. Okay. You can also, Elijah, continue monkeying with it, but you know what the risk is with that, right? When we monkey with something, it's not always with the best results. So I'm gonna leave that up to you. Okay. So there's definitely hair showing. How much time do I have? Okay, I'm about 19 minutes before the end. Can I do this in 19 minutes? I can do something, but I definitely cannot linger too long on some things that I would otherwise would be tempted to linger on. So I'm moving fast. Okay. Again, I did sort of a background thing here, but now I'm going to come back. And my pencil is far from being sharp, but I can still achieve some fairly thin lines where I need them. Is everybody feeling okay about what they're drawing right now? Yes? It felt dangerous. You were always on the border of making a huge mistake. Elijah, you really took a risk by drawing in with a pencil that you cannot erase. I think that's pretty. It's a pretty bold move here. Good for you, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, darkening where I think it's dark. Now using the tip of my pencil to add a little bit of volume to some places. Don't forget, guys, that at any point between now and midnight, you can still go to the Sketchy shop, and if you want to sign up to for any other class, it doesn't have to be one of mine, of course, anybody else's. You buy a class and you get one for free. Buy one, get one free. Can you believe that? And it's with the code moi, MUA. This would be a good opportunity maybe to grab a class that maybe you didn't think you would want to do, but if it's free when you buy one, then I don't know, maybe some exploration to be done. Okay, it's getting interesting, right? It's getting there. Okay. Oh, Melissa, I'm sorry that you didn't get a chance to see the lesson first. I don't think it's a huge deal, to tell you the truth. I think you will. I think you will enjoy the lesson no matter what, whether you watched it first or not. A lot of the things that I applied today are tips that I gave in the lesson itself. No worries. Okay. I have a hard time with skin tones in pencil. Any tips or rules? Michelle, the skin tones are tricky when we go from a colored original photo to black and white, right? Clearly. So what I do is I rely on where the dark areas are and I run with those. This is where I apply all the dark, I apply all the pressure, and then I work from there. So once I establish my dark ones, then I go back and I go, okay, this is not as dark, so I won't press as much on this one. Oh, this is not as dark either, so I won't press as hard. And basically, little by little, you establish a range of, um, I guess they're called values, okay? And those values are what is going to make the skin, um, go very 3D, you see? And I'm even adding more as I go. Um, it's basically a work of translation. You translate what you see in color into black and white. And in color, what is dark will also be dark in black and white. And so on and so forth. Okay. I hope that answered your question, Michelle. What a great last name, by the way, La Forêt. Okay. All right, so we're moving right along. You will see that once we get into that beard, things are going to move fairly fast because all these decisions that I had to make about, midtones and so forth will, I'm not saying they're going to go out the window, but let's face it, it's going to be taken care of. And honestly, class, that is why I chose a beard today, knowing that I have such a hard time finishing my drawings during these live sessions because I go into the details, I talk and I talk and I talk, and then next thing you know, I'm not finishing. What I'm really going to try today is to finish. Can I set that for a goal for myself? Yes. Okay, going into the tones of his cheek, darkening where I think it needs to be darkened. And very soon now, we are going to dive in. So using, again, the side of this jumbo pencil and kind of going to town. And don't hesitate to make very, I don't want to say it's anarchy. Oh my gosh, I just pronounced it the French way. Anarchy, but it's, there's really no rhyme or reason here as to how I'm tackling this beard. As long as you don't do just everything in one direction, you just sort of move things around a little bit with your pencil, you see? Then you have a beard. Because again, this being a drawing, it's an interpretation, it needs to be kept sketchy, and really that's all that matters. So no, it's not going to be perfect. I have no interest in that. The beard comes up this way though, I realize. Oh, right. Okay. You see, I'm not making long strokes here. I'm staying kind of small, okay? Melissa, it was bound to happen, but that's okay, right? because again, we're not using hundreds of dollars worth of material. Melissa is just telling us that the lead in her lead holder just broke. Yeah, yeah, it was bound to happen, I guess. Well, especially, I don't know, Melissa, if you are in the beard with me right now, which is a weird sentence, I realize. It's strange to say that we are in a beard, but bear with me, okay? All right, it's looking good. Ah, these, gosh, I love these pencils. Can I just express how much I love, broad, thick lead that you can just expose and then just truly, truly fun with. Look at this. You can bring it up this way and show little, much shorter lines, much thinner lines. It's gorgeous. I'm going with a lot of pressure here, no hesitation, just boom, boom, boom. That's one of the things that I love about drawing digitally is how opaque you can get into things, and the best way you can do that with a traditional pencil, I found, is just by going broad. You see what we're doing here? I have not addressed the ear yet. I have not even gone there. Oh my goodness. No worries, guys, we're getting there. Darkening and darkening, making sure the beard shows the curls a little bit here. Look at that. Curls. Yeah, that's about right. That's where the beard goes. Okay, almost leaving the entirety of the cheek untouched. I said almost because look, I still want to convey the volume of the face with some curved hatching here. Okay, not much because I don't want to overdo it. If I overdo it, then I lose this lighting that Tom was talking about a few minutes ago, right? Like this underlighting, which I think is so interesting in this particular portrait. It adds so much to the mood. I don't want to undo that. Look, I'm going back in here. And more darkness. Yep. But leaving this exposed because that's where the light hits, It's so interesting. Loving the lighting on this particular drawing, on this particular portrait, absolutely. Okay. And you're sharpening as you go. Yes, Melissa, I get it. This is it. Okay, in the ear things can go fairly fast. Again, this being lit from underneath, this is what shows as darker. It's really interesting. Very dark edge here to the ear. it's funny. I don't think I did this space quite right. Funny enough, I think the beard should be. I don't know. It's funny. There's more space here in the original photo, so I don't know what I did differently, but I obviously did something differently. I did. Okay. And now going back with a very light stroke, because this is what is exposed to light. This isn't. The back of his neck isn't. Okay. Thank you, Jordan. Okay, guys. So keep in mind that the light is coming from this direction, so I don't want to overdo the areas that I don't think are shady. But adding some, let me see. All right. I love cross-hatching over an area that I've already shaded. I think it makes the cross-hatching look that much more interesting. See, like here as well. Yeah, it makes for just much more comfortable. I don't know, I just feel much bolder, when I bring in the cross hatching. It's just, it anchors it very well. I like that. Okay, guys, what do you think? We have a face here. And Sylvie, I did erase once during this drawing, like right around here, right at the beginning. I did a little bit of erasing with this little Muji eraser. But frankly, when you do this more and more and more, you will find that once you establish your proportions, then you just have fun, then you play, then it's a playground. It really is. You've just sealed certain things, and then after that, okay, how much time do I have? Not much, so I'm about to wrap things up. Okay, I'm very close to finishing here. I'm just putting finishing touches. Did you notice I did not address Marcus's shirt? I just didn't feel the need to. I like, on the contrary, having a nice shaded area right up until the shirt. That makes for an interesting contrast. Guys, I think we've reached the end. Okay? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to sign. How about I sign right here? France. I am wagonized on Instagram. And I'm going to leave it at pretty much this. I'm not going to touch it after I'm done with this broadcast. I'm leaving it as is, you guys. And I'm just going to post it like this. Boom! So, my tools. HB, 2B, the same kind of pencil, a Jumbo by Faber-Castell. God, what a great brand. And again, they were not sharpened. These guys were not sharpened when I started, and I certainly will not sharpen them anytime soon. And the H, which was a lead holder, pencil holder, an '09, which allowed me to start very lightly, but you could barely see that on camera, right? So we are done. Sylvie Dubé, I will give you the link to this jumbo pencils on Amazon, but I can also find them, I'm sure, on the Faber-Castell website, which might be different from Canada and the US. Uh, but I'm heading over now to Sketchy Art School, to the lesson feed, okay? And I would like you to do the same and post what you drew. This is not a competition. I'm so just looking forward to seeing what you've achieved. And also, did you notice I did not erase any construction lines? You see them sticking out in the back here? They're everywhere. But this got so intense, so dense, that it kind of covered them up, you know? I love that. So I'm gonna take my phone, take a photo of this, and post it. And I hope you do the same. And then I'm gonna go out to lunch with a friend, and I'll be back, and then I'll discover all the things that you've posted as well. All right. So thank you for coming today. Next week, which is not Sunday but Saturday, the 22nd, we're going to do a 3/4. It's going to be a lot of fun. Not obviously the same technique as this, because it's a lot trickier. It's going to get trickier and trickier as we go. Thank you for coming, everybody, from all over the place. I really appreciate doing this with you, and I love the fact that you draw along with me. I hope it was as much fun for you as it was for me. I'm going to say ciao for now, au revoir. Please post. So glad I hosted this. It was my pleasure. I'm about to take a photo of this with my phone, okay? Hopefully I'm getting enough light to do this. Yeah. Yeah. Photo is taken and it's about to get posted on Sketchy Art School in the class feed. Head over to Sketchy Shop if you want a free class, if you buy one today until midnight. And I will see you on Sketchy Art School. Now that I have internet where I am, it's going to be much easier to communicate with you. It's been a rough week. Okay, I'll talk to you soon, everybody. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you for coming. Bye. Ciao. Bye, everybody.